Hello, God bless you, folks, wherever place you are today. My name is Commander CSI, commanding in the 21st century under high tension Pentecostal power anointing. They call me the Lord of the Caribbean, and I'm just here tonight to pass a very vital information to us, and this information will help to build your life and build your family. I will read from some Bible passages, but I believe that God of heaven will not allow you to be put to shame. I want to speak on a topic I captioned understanding how to organize your life prophetically. Understanding how to organize your life prophetically. So wherever place you are tonight, I want you and God wants you to organize your life. If your life is not organized, you will miss it all up, right? So that is why you need to organize your life. Praise the Lord. Also, I want you to come close tonight because we need to share this subject quickly before you take your communion. You know that this week is a week of communion. Organize your life. And God never created us to be in poverty and lack. God created this life for us to live and be happy. Remember what I said last week. God's first step towards our world is illumination. He says, let there be light. And there was light. So as long as darkness reigns, you can't define what is wrong. You can't define what is in the right place and the wrong place in your life. But when light comes, you will know what is wrong and what is right. Most people know what is wrong, but they don't know what is wrong in their life. And most people live a life of trial and error. They try everything and they are not succeeding. But God never designed this world to be like that. So is the illumination, is light. And that light is knowledge, revelation, understanding. Proverbs 4:7 says that wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, take wisdom. And in all you're getting, get understanding. Get understanding. Now, that is why I emphasize in Prophetic Embassy. Buy book, buy tapes, read books. We say it not for commercial purposes, because I can know the truth and not tell you. I can know the truth without passing the truth and the knowledge to you. You know that readers are leaders. You know that information is order. Information will bring things together in your life. Information is the key that you can put in the right hole and it will make things much easier. You can't rise above the level of your knowledge. In Proverbs 19, verse 20, whatsoever thing we sow without good, it's not knowledge, it's not it's not going to be okay. It's only when you know the truth and do the truth, it will be free. And when you know the truth and do the truth, that is when you can be free. We all know that you can know the truth, but if you don't do the truth, how can you be free? You can't be free anyway until you know the truth and do the truth. The truth you know without doing it still put you in darkness, in bondage. So I want you to know that you are not an ordinary person, right? So wherever place you are this week is a week of our communion. I want you to know the truth. Don't be ignorant at the devices of the crafty. The devil only exploit and are ignorant. I am where I am today because of what I know and because of what I don't know. Now, Jesus says something powerful in the cross of Calvary. He said, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they do. That is powerful. He knows that the people don't know what they are doing. They are performing in the level of their knowledge. And Jesus is just trying to let us know that these people, if they know, they will do better because they don't know. Many of us are hiding today and we are not praying because we don't know, or some of us know. But when you know, you can perform better. Oh my God, I feel something. So we need to really understand where we are going. Now, light cometh and darkness prevent it not. So when we put our knowledge in the book to bring the light, you have to make sure you pick it and then do what we say you should do. Listen, I can't go beyond where I am until I go further into learning. And I want you to say to yourself, wherever place you are, I can be better than this. Whenever you come to the point that you feel you have done your best, you are finished, because your best is yet to come. What you are going through right now is not your best. Whatsoever thing I achieve today and wherever place I am today is not my best, because my best is yet to come. I have more things I need to get. I need to move forward to increase my wisdom. Hallelujah. Any person that thinks he knows something doesn't know anything. Now, the more you know, you don't know. The more you feel you know something, the more you know that you don't know. So, anytime you know something and you think you have come to the ultimate end of your knowledge, that thing you know is knowledge. You don't know anything. Have you discovered that in education, the higher you go, the narrower it becomes? You say you are a professor of physics. You can't be a professor of physics because you cannot be only a professor to one arm of physics. Now, that is how life goes. You must specialize on something. The higher you go, the higher you go, the narrow you enter, because you will try to specialize in something. So I want you to organize your life. You have to live with priority. Every effective person in this world have discovered something. They have discovered and developed a principle that, maybe let me put it this way. You have to just find out that the 80% of your result is 20% of your effort. 80% of your result come from 20% of your time. Now, in the church, 80% of tithe and offering in the church come from 20% of the church. So you discover that it's only 20% of the church. 20% of the church people controls what goes around in the church, just like in the nations. Sometimes 20% of the church, of the people in the country have the money that controls the 80% of the people. And as a pastor, I know that 20% of the people in the church is the one that control the 80% of the church. So all I need to do is to put more effort on the 20% of the people to keep them moving, so that the 80% of the people, the other people can rejoice. Like now we are locked down. It's the people that are working in the government, those 10% or 5% of the people working in the government is now the people that are controlling and paying the bills of the church. So that is how it goes. Until we understand that, we will just be in the same place. If we are in a party, is The 20% of people that provide the food, 80% to eat the food. 20% will not eat the food in a party. It's 80% that eats the food. But I just want to bring out point here. There are so many things that is working in our life that are big. Everybody can never be in first place. In life, there are things you need to handle. You have your work, you have your friends, you have your ministry. Something has to be first in your life, and others has to be second. If everything has to be first in your life, then you are making a mistake. Even if we have two eyes, two of our eyes, we see one thing the same time. If you can see two different things the same time with two of your eyes, then you need correction. It's a cross eye. So we need focus to succeed in life. So I just want to suggest to us this night, some area of order to arrange our life scripturally for maximum impact. The first question is, what is that thing that takes the first place in your life? Number one, it has to be God. Give God the first place in your life. Give God the first place in your life. Make it a policy that in all things, God has to take the first place in your life. When you have made personal policies and principles like that, when you come to the point of decision, it's easy. You made your decision before even the situation arrived. So you have to make a choice. In case these other decisions, any decision that cannot allow God to be the first, that decision has to go. It's not of God. So you need to come to the point you say God first in everything I do. Let's go to Luke chapter 10. Luke chapter 10. This example of people that make two different choices. Luke 10 from verse 38. What did he say? Luke 10 from 38. Now it happened as they enter a certain village, a certain woman enter him and when welcome him into his house, a certain woman named Mary, and that sit on his foot. No, this is a story of Mary and Martha. Now, these two sisters have decision to make two choices. One was there, always worried and troubled for many things. But Mary chose the good path that will not be taken away from her. Now, these are two people. Martha matter on things that doesn't matter. But Mary is all there about the Lord. One person sat down at his feet, listening to his word. The other person was running about trying to cook, running about trying to do one or two things. Jesus might have come with the multitude of his disciples as his followers. And this other person wants to cook food for everybody, but this person, he was sweating and all that. But the sister went down and sat down listening to the word, spending time with the Lord. And Martha comes. And she doesn't even talk to Mary. He talks to God. He speaks to the Lord direct. I expect that he was known that what the Mary is doing is wrong. He said, Lord, tell her she should come into the kitchen to help me. As long as you make a decision to put God in your life, there will be a reaction, especially from people that claim ownership of your life. As soon as you cut up your allegiance from them and make God your choice, suddenly they will begin to tell you, I will not pay your school fees anymore. Get out of my house. A lot of things will start happening because you have cut off from them and you are putting your allegiance to God. So we have to really understand this. So all we need to do is to make up our mind. There are people that we decide if you are going, if they may even tell you if you cut off from them, they will say from today, since you decide to go to that prophetic embassy, you are no longer living in this house. Pack out. But there are people too, even there are pastors that quarrel with their wife like that. Because as soon as you make decision, listen to me, when you make the right decision, there will be a reaction from people around you. When people found where the word is alive, they go with it. And people will criticize you because of your passion for God. So we'll even tell you, are you the one that killed Jesus? Why are you always going to church every day? Can that church help you? Church cannot give you everything. Your faith and your belief in God is what gives you things. Church is a place to worship God, to thank Him. That is worship. Worship Him, thank Him for His provisions. Jesus always said, what do you have in your hands? What you have in your hands is what He will multiply. He's not a magician. He's not somebody that will say, let there be money, and money will be everywhere. No, God is a God of principle. Some of you, listening to the sound of my voice, you cannot even read the Bible. You cannot even buy any books. If you can't even understand what you are doing, and you just want a miracle, you want a quick fix. It's not like that. Okay, let me put it this way. There are some of us, you listening to the sound of my voice today, there are some of you hearing me. If you come to me for ministration and I tell you, go and get me $20,000, I'm going to buy some materials and do spiritual work for you, you will run and go and bring it. But if you come and I tell you, we continue to pray, go and get $2,000 and give it out to widows, come back for me to pray for you, you will run away. Because you don't want to know the truth, you don't want to listen to the truth, you don't want the truth to save you. When they tell you to do what Jesus can tell you to do when He's on earth, Jesus never collect money from anybody. Rather, He uses what the people have to bless people. He said, when you do this to the widow, prisoners, and orphans, you are doing it for me. And now when you come to see us and we say, go and visit the orphanage, give them so and so amount of money and come back for prayer, you will say, no. I want you to know that intimidators use fear to intimidate you. Dominators use anger. Dominators use anger. Intimidators use fear. But can you imagine? Jesus is there. He's listening to you. He wants you to do the best. I want you to organize your life. Don't be under domination. Because once you are dominated with the fear of man, you cannot fear God. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. Let God be first in your life. Even at the risk of losing your life, let God be the first in your life. Are you hearing me? After God, who is next? After God in your life, who is next? That's you, yourself. Amen. There are some people, the way they organize their life, there is no room for themselves. They live for their husband, they live for their children, they live for their girlfriend, they live for their friends. They do everything for these people and they have nothing left for themselves. Yourself. You have to exist before you can be any person's wife. You have to exist before you can be any person's husband. You have to exist before you can be any person's father. You have to exist before you can be any person's mother, friends. Yourself is the second. You can't give all of your time away that you don't have time for yourself anymore. In 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 6, I think, Apostle Paul tells Timothy, The whole book was written to put order in the church. He said, take heed to yourself. Take heed to yourself and to the doctrine and continue with them so that you may save yourself and those that is hearing you. Because if you can't save yourself, you can't save anybody. Apostle Paul tells the elders of the church, take heed to yourself. Take heed to yourself. Take heed to yourself. That is what Apostle Paul always tells them. Even in Romans, he said, take heed to yourself. When I come into this world, I don't have any position. I don't have any house. I don't have anything. Before I become a general overseer or prophetic embassy, I am itode. I am myself. If I cannot define myself outside that position, I am nobody. Because one reason or the other, I have to leave that position. That definitely I will cease to exist one day. I am a person. I am not a number. I am not a statistics. Until you value yourself, nobody will value you. Any price you put on yourself, that is a price that people will price you. If you devalue yourself, nobody will raise your price for you. If you agree to give your time to somebody else, nobody will have time for you. You will finish. You first. So after God is you. You have time for yourself. Now that we are quarantined and everywhere, have time for yourself. Sometimes you discover that you are, anytime, or let me put it this way, anytime you are always running out of activity, relax, sit down, and listen to yourself. Now, when a woman is a wife, it's a mother, than when somebody is a just young girl. Okay, let me say, some people working with me, some of them is a wife, is somebody's mother, they work somewhere, and a lot of women give out a lot of things out. They have a lot they give out. But this time is the time for you. At that point, try to have time for yourself. Can you imagine that as soon as you are giving time and all that, and you like you are doing business, you give check and the check bounce, you give check and the check bounce, and somebody come and ask you for money, you'll be so irrational, you will just shout at that person. So at that point, go and rediscover yourself and relax. Take heed to yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. You can't love your neighbor more than yourself. What is the proof of love? Giving is the proof of love. So give yourself first. Buy yourself gifts. Buy yourself things. Eat yourself good. Do you call yourself good babes? After that, you cannot give it to other people. What you give yourself and it's okay, you give it to other people. Just try to behave like some lizard that will fall down from the tree and shake his head and say, if nobody can congratulate me, I'll congratulate myself. Try to be yourself. Because we can get lost in the mix of activity sometimes. And that is why you need to put yourself there. After yourself, then your family. Your relationship is more important than your achievement. Your family comes next. In the book of Timothy, chapter 3, Apostle Paul was putting down some instructions to the church, the guidance, and how to pick leaders in the church. He said in the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 1 to 5, he was describing a leader. He said, one who rules his house well, having his children in submission to himself. Because if you don't rule your own house, how can you take care of the church of God? If a man does not know how to run his house, how can he take care of the church of God? Which means our performance in the home front is a qualification for being given assignment and responsibility in the church. So that is, if that is the qualification for working in the church, is the same qualification to work anywhere else. You need to take your family serious. Whatever you might have achieved in this world, anything you try to achieve in this world, when you are no longer, it's your family that comes next. So your family is where our weakness is discovered before the enemy discovers it. Because your family is the people that see you the way you are and tell you the way you are and the way you ought to be. Things can be tough. For a woman, it may not be a big challenge. They have their esteem from their relationship, but for man, let me just talk to some men out there. Because most of us are married to our jobs. And our wives can sense it, that they have rivals. And their rival is the job. They have to compete for our attention. There are some of us that are pure workaholics. But then, in my understanding, you need to give small time for your family. If we must make a choice between our wives and our job, and men always go for the job and give excuses for it, and providing money here. This is where I'm getting the money to take care of everybody. Yeah, some of them will say, can't we eat? But we have to really understand that God is doing a great thing. Now, I want you to know something. God knows everything. All you need to do is to focus, have things to do for your family. Have time. Have time for God. Have time for yourself. Have time for your family. Now, there are some of us, we are just, we want to go forward. We don't want to take any person along with us. But I want to urge you, these three things, try to understand it and your life will be better. Number one, God, ourselves, our family. Your children don't just need the toys. Your children need you. Your wife don't just need clothes and cars. She wants you as well. So you need to try to spend time with your family, with your children, and things will be better. And I know that I feel strongly that God will fight your battles. I hope that I have been a blessing to you today. I feel that I have blessed your life today. I want you, wherever place you are, God, yourself, and your family. As soon as you do that, you will understand how to put your life in order. Let me say this once again. Until I meet you, until I see you again next week or next time, I just want to say to you, Asante, Maranatha.